So you've been training for several weeks, maybe even a few months. You've started to do workouts. Maybe you've even pushed yourself in a time trial or done your first tune-up race. But you notice that you're not getting faster on your day-to-day runs. Should you be worried about this? When will you get faster just on an everyday easy run? On today's episode of the Knighton Runs Podcast, we're going to dig into this question that I got from an athlete and talk about some of the signs of increasing fitness that you're going to experience throughout training that aren't pace related. Welcome to the Knighton Runs Podcast. My name is Coach Chris Knighton, and thank you for being here. Today's episode is brought to you by the Knighton Runs training group on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/KnightonRuns, you can check out all the different training plans that I've put together that are based on the concepts and theories that I talk about on today's show. I want to give a shout out to some of our newest members who joined in the month of January. Jesse, Havila, Wojek, Jim, and Helen all joined the training group this month. So thank you and welcome. I hope to make 2023 your best year of running yet. When you join the training group, not only can you download all the training plans that I've developed over the years, you can also get your questions answered by me and our community as well. So if you're interested in that, check it out. And I also want to highlight an athlete win that I received in this past week. As I'm recording this, it's January. A lot of us are just in the base building phase of training right now, getting ready for maybe an April or a May goal race. But let's not forget that some of us are still racing. Earlier this month was the Houston Marathon, and I got a great message from Jeffrey this past week, who read my book, Run Faster Marathons, The Proven Path to PR, and he said, "Hey, Coach Chris, I just wanted to reach out to you and say that the 3 C's that you teach in the book worked again for the second time. I improved my half marathon time by 2 minutes in Houston at the Houston Half Marathon." He ran 5 miles comfortable, 5 miles confident, and that last 5K is where he began to race. He set a 1:21, which was 3-minute personal best. He says, "I love the mantra of the 3 C's, and I can't wait to try it when I go run the Boston Marathon this April. Thanks, Coach. You're doing a great job. Keep up the work." Love getting messages like that. It's cool to know that there's so many people out there training. Many of them I don't even really know what they're up to. Maybe just listening to this podcast or you've read my book. But when I get messages like that, it's awesome. It lets you know that the work I'm putting in here matters to y'all. So keep up the good work, Jeffrey, and everyone listening. So let's get into the main question for today. My athlete Alex asked me this week, when should my easy runs get faster? This is an athlete who, since I started coaching him, he's actually improved tremendously in his races. He set 2 huge marathon PRs. He set a half marathon PR. He set a 5-mile PR, and much more to come. He still has a lot of room to grow in the new year, but he hasn't necessarily noticed his easy run paces getting faster. And I think that this is a question that a lot of us are unsure about. In this day and age, with everyone, for the most part, tracking their runs on GPS, and many of us posting them on social media to Strava or on Instagram, there's a lot of attention placed on the pace of your easy runs. But what I want to convey in this podcast is, don't worry at all about the pace on your easy runs, and instead worry about signs of increasing fitness that are not pace related. There's a lot of reasons why the pace on your easy runs is going to be a slow factor to speed up as your fitness improves. There's not as direct of a correlation between your easy pace and your race paces, but all you need to worry about as a competitive athlete is your race paces. A couple of reasons for this. Easy paced running, well, it's easy. You're not pushing the pace. You're really not trying. your body is going to find a pace that's most economical for it, and that's going to be the right balance of effort in relation to what your overall training volume and workload is for that week. So one of the things that I commonly see with new athletes, they're probably running their easy runs at a moderate to hard effort a lot of the times. And this makes sense when you're not running that much, because when you're not running that much and there's not that much dynamic differences between the different types of runs, every run's kind of the same. You're not that tired going into your runs. And yeah, you can run them kind of hard. But as you start to train like an athlete and increase your mileage and put a wide variety of styles of types of runs that you do into your training program, you need to keep in mind that your easy runs, your recovery runs, I'll use those terms interchangeably here, the pace is totally irrelevant. Go easy. Actually, turn off the pace on your watch, please. Don't even look at it. It's just a distraction. You should be saving your effort on an easy run for your next workout or for your next long run, because those are the runs that you maybe want to care about your pace. You don't want to care about it on your easy runs. As you increase your mileage and you increase the intensity of your workouts, it's normal for your easy run pace to stay the same or even potentially get a bit slower, because the overall amount of work you're doing over the course of a week or a month is higher. You're trying to get in the volume of miles by running longer in your easy runs, but you're getting tired and you're saving your energy for the hard efforts. And you're probably seeing your paces increase in these workouts and in these long runs and in your races that you do every month or two. You're not necessarily going to see an increase in your pace in your easy runs because you're putting your effort in all of these other areas which are more deserving of it. It's important to remember that when it comes to an easy run, and also to some extent your total mileage over a week, doing more, covering more distance, more time, is more important than the pace in which you cover it. So, for example, it would be better to run 50 miles a week at a comfortable pace with just very small bits of speed thrown in than it would be to run, let's say, 25 miles per week, but do a lot of fast running. You may also find, if you're that person doing 50 miles per week, that your easy runs are significantly slower than the person doing 25 miles per week. But you're probably going to actually race faster because when it matters, you're able to unlock the fitness that you've been building and show it off. Another thing that I think is worth thinking about when it comes to this is as your fitness increases, you run harder at a relatively harder intensity for any given race distance than when you were less fit. You also run at a harder intensity than people who you're significantly fitter than. So let's just talk about a 5K, for example. When two different athletes run the 5K, they don't experience the same thing when they have wildly different fitness levels. For example, I'm personally focusing on the 5K distance this spring. I'd love to PR in that. My PR right now is 16:50 officially, and I want to lower that down as close to 16 minutes as I can, maybe even break 16 minutes. I'm running close to a 5-minute mile when I do these, I think 5 to 5:20. That's a very different intensity, and to cover the 5K distance in 15, 16 minutes is a very different intensity than someone who covers the 5K distance in, say, 30 minutes. It's takes me potentially half the time as it takes someone who does it in 30 minutes. I am relatively working much, much harder than they are. Likewise, someone who's, potentially Olympic level, who's running a 5K in 13 minutes, they're working at a much, much harder intensity than someone like me, who's, more of an advanced amateur and does it in 16 minutes. So it's not the same. When two different athletes run at the same relative intensity, yes, they experience the same feelings. But, let's say a 4-minute miler is experiencing a much higher level of intensity over those 4 minutes than, let's say, a 8-minute miler. Okay. And if you see your race paces increasing over time, what this means is that you're able to unlock a higher level of intensity in your body and sustain it for longer. You're able to run at a higher percentage of your VO2 max. You're closer to your maximum heart rate and how long you can sustain pulling in as much oxygen from your environment and fueling your muscles. You can do that longer than a less trained athlete who, let's say, maybe runs a mile in like 8 minutes or 5K in 30 minutes. They're running at a relatively lower VO2 max, relatively lower heart rate than you would be if you're doing that event in a much faster pace and much less time. However, you may not see a huge difference in the day-to-day easy run pace between these two athletes. Let's take myself again for an example. I know my pace as well. When I go out for a regular easy day run, on a good day where I feel fresh, I might be able to run as fast as 7 minutes per mile. On a day that I'm tired or saving my energy for the next day, I might run an 8, maybe even an 8:30. When I'm very tired, I've been known to run a 9-minute mile. And there's other athletes who I know who I definitely have far, far significantly faster race paces than, but they still run maybe their easy paces in that 7 to 8 minute range. But that doesn't really matter as long as the pace that you're going when you go on an easy run is truly easy and restorative, and you're saving your energy for your next run, and you're not deluding yourself and not lying to yourself into calling it easy, but actually it's tiring you out. That's a common issue. That's kind of a different issue is people see what others are doing and try to match them on their easy runs. But again, don't worry about your pace on your easy runs. Turn the pace off your watch. Seriously, don't look at it. Just go by feel. And only be concerned about your pace when it comes to doing your workouts and when it comes to doing your races. It's never a good idea to try to increase your pace on your easy runs and think that that's going to be the path that you need to take to become a faster athlete. That's pretty much never the case unless you're being exceptionally lazy on your easy runs. So there's that. What are some signs, though, of increasing fitness that aren't pace related? These are the things that you should be paying attention to when it comes to your day-to-day runs. These are the things that you should be paying attention to that are not the pace on your watch, because again, you're going to turn off the pace on your watch when it comes to easy runs. All right. First thing, you can run longer. If you can run more distance, if you can spend more time out on your feet and you feel good doing it, you're getting fitter and you're getting faster. If I start training you and your longest run is like a 3 or 4 mile run, and that's kind of challenging, 2 months later, if you're up to doing, let's say, a 7-mile run and it feels the same, even if it's the same pace, this means you're getting fitter, it means you're getting stronger, and it will ultimately mean you're getting faster. Next thing, if you can run more volume and more frequency, then you're getting fitter and you're getting faster. As a new athlete, maybe you only run 3 days per week or 4 days per week. If you increase that to 5 or 6 and you still feel good, even if your pace isn't increasing, this means you're getting fitter, means you're getting stronger, means you're getting faster. All right, third thing, if you feel stronger over hills, your fitness is increasing. New athletes avoid hills. They tend to hate them. But I encourage you to incorporate hills throughout your everyday runs. Just run over hilly routes. The more you do this, the stronger you're going to become as an athlete and the faster you're going to get. A new athlete, running up a hill at any pace, even a very slow pace, you might end up gasping for air by the time you get to the top. This turns what should be an easy run into a hard run simply because you're fighting gravity and going uphill. But if you find that a month from now you can run the same route and you can run over the hills and actually keep them easy, keep the intensity easy, then you're getting stronger, fitter, and faster. One tip before I leave the topic of hills: the best advice I ever heard when it came to running over hills over the course of an easy run, a long run, or a race was the mantra to tell yourself in your head, float up them, don't fight them. Another problem that's kind of come with the proliferation of everyone using a GPS watch and running your pace is people worry about slowing down going up a hill. That's actually what you're supposed to do. When you get to a hill, don't fight up it to try to maintain the same pace. Instead, ease off just a little bit. Maybe even a 5% reduction in your effort is going to result in a tremendous energy savings. Your pace will slow down a little bit, but you want to think of yourself as floating up the hill, not fighting to get up it and maintain your pace. Once you get to the backside, you can just roll down it, let gravity do its work, and you're going to regain most of the time that you lost by floating up the hill and not clawing your way up. And this is going to be the most efficient way to get through the hills. You're not going to lose energy in this process. So float up them, don't fight them, and roll down the backside. Don't push, just benefit from the free speed of gravity. All right, so you feel strong on the hills. That's the third sign of increasing fitness that are not pace related. Fourth sign is that you're able to stay healthy and consistent throughout your training. And this one is so important because consistency is the most important thing in your training when it comes to long-term improvement. If you get out the door day after day for your run and you do your supplemental strength training and mobility work and take care of any little aches and pains as they come up before they turn into injury that might sideline you, you're gonna see results. It's only gonna be a matter of time. When you are consistent and you adopt the habits of a high-level athlete, no matter what your ability level is, when you behave this way and are consistent over time, it just takes patience and you will eventually see results. New athletes, unfit athletes often cannot stay consistent because they have these highs and lows of intensity. Maybe they go out and they run super fast. Then they take 2 days off because they're they're too tired or they're banged up. And then they go out the next day and they run super, super fast and then they're banged up again, or something like this. Or the fact that, maybe they just don't feel good after their runs. They just feel drained and they don't want to run again the next day. But if you feel like you're able to stay consistent and excited to get out there day after day after day, and you feel good at the start of each of your runs or after your warm up, this is a sign of increasing fitness. It means you're getting stronger, and it means you will be faster in your next race. All right. So again, turn off your pace on your GPS watch when it comes to easy runs and recovery runs. Do not worry about that. The pace you go, it's related to what's the most biomechanically efficient pace for you and how much effort are you expending to stay in balance with the more important higher intensity running that you're doing throughout the week and longer runs, your long run, which you're saving energy for. When you're running more mileage and doing more hard work, you're generally under more fatigue throughout the week than perhaps someone who's not running as much. So again, your easy runs might be slower because of that. It doesn't necessarily mean, though, that you're not getting fitter, because we can point to all these things, like you can run longer, you can run more frequently, higher volume, you feel stronger on the hills, and that you're enjoying staying consistent and healthy throughout training. These are all indicators that your fitness is increasing. And again, all you need to care about as a competitive runner is what's your pace in your workouts, what's your pace in your long run, and what's your pace, ultimately, the most important one, what's your pace when it comes to racing. All right, everyone, that's it. Thanks so much for listening again to the Knighton Runs podcast today. If you enjoyed the show, a couple different things that you can do to help support what I'm doing. Make sure that you're subscribed in your listening player. And if you liked this episode and learned anything from it, I'd love if you would leave a review in your podcast player as well. Your review really helps others who might come across this podcast recognize that it's worth their time and it might be beneficial for them as well. So it really helps share my podcast with others. Before I go, I just want to let you know 3 different ways that you can kind of take the next step to improve your running. First is be sure that you've gotten a copy of my book, Run Faster Marathons, The Proven Path to PR. You can download a free digital copy of my book from my website. Just go to knightonruns.com and you can sign up for my newsletter there. And the first thing I'm going to send you is a free copy of my book. If you'd like to get a paperback or Kindle copy of it, you can purchase that on Amazon. Just search for Run Faster Marathons by Chris Knighton. Secondly, if you'd like to get training plans that are based upon the concepts that I talked about in the show today and elsewhere throughout this podcast, be sure to check out the Knighton Runs training group on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Knighton Runs. And in there, you can download training plans suited for all different abilities for the common road distances that you're training for. And you can join our community as well and get your questions answered by me and the other runners within the training group. And if you're interested in one-on-one coaching with me, I do have a couple of spots available for that if it's the right fit between me and you as an athlete. So you can just go to knightonruns.com/coaching to learn about the one-on-one online coaching that I offer and apply for it there if you're interested. I'll be sure to have the links to all this stuff in the show notes, so you can check it out there if you'd like. All right, until next time, thank you again for listening to the Knighton Runs podcast. This has been Coach Chris. I hope your running is going well, and until next time, bye.